we're here with Rebuild Repair, and you guys are kind of like a new band to the circuit, so like how has Edmonton been so far? Like kicking your way in?
It's been a lot easier than it was when I was getting going back in high school, which is way too long ago. But I think I'm making better music now, so that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, I think just being persistent. I mean, like, shout out to the Frolics because they gave us a big help. Like, my girlfriend didn't just talk to her about on their fundraiser show and opening for them, and I think that was just a huge catalyst to like getting shows and just getting a few other contacts and then just pushing to get shows.
Yeah,
we just want to play, so
yeah,
I'll bug anybody. I don't care.
That Frolic show was your guys' first show.
Yeah.
There at Wonderbar. That's where I first caught you guys. And so what has the band been up to since then? It seems like you guys have been really playing a lot of local shows.
Yeah, pretty much just trying to get the name out there. I know a lot of bands worry about playing too many shows and like, oh, people get burned out on it. But right now, I don't think anybody really knows who we are. Yeah. So it's like, as long as, in 6 months when people are like, oh, Rebuild Repair, I like them, then we'll worry about burning people out on it. Mm-hmm. In the short term, we just want to get our name out there.
I think the crowd's really diverse too. I mean, it seems like every time we do play a show, it is a completely different crowd, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we've been playing with metal bands and punk bands, and it's really nice to see.
Indie bands.
Like, you feel as if you're getting to a whole different crowd every different show. So for now, it's been great.
And like, it seems that kids like are narrowing themselves so far in the subgenres that even though they like punk, they can't go see this punk band because it's not their narrow subgenre punk they listen to.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it, but I think there's also an element of like downplaying what you have here in Edmonton. There's a sense that like Vancouver's always better, Montreal's always better, Toronto's always better. Like these bigger scenes are where it's at, and no Edmonton bands like are like a step down from that.
Yeah.
And I've definitely heard Edmonton bands that are a step down from that. There are times where you got bands who aren't really pushing themselves because there's not as much of a chance that you're going to break out in a fairly isolated place. But there are definitely some great bands here that get overlooked because it's Edmonton, it's not Toronto.
So, like, how do we get past that?
If I had an answer for that. I think it's just important to support what you have and for the musicians here to try to do what they can to make great music. There's not really anything more to it. Edmonton's growing, and as it grows, you're going to see more. Like, we'll probably reach a critical mass where we sort of are able to push past that. But in the short term, it's like you just got to trudge through it.
Do you think with the lack of all age venues, is that kind of hampering the scene? Because it doesn't seem that there's an opportunity for your young bands to play in front of a crowd and earn their chops.
That's a definite thing because it's not just the young bands, it's young people who came out to shows. Like, I went to all ages shows since I was like 14.
Yeah.
And like that was a big thing for me, and it's something that I carried through like into adulthood from there. But like the like Clean Up Your Act is doing great stuff. The studio is all ages right now.
Well, and what I also find about like audiences is like it's that old age crowd that really supports bands, right? Like 16-year-olds are willing to kill for a band. Like I know when I was like 16 and going to all ages, you were like, I will fucking murder somebody for you, and you kind of lose that when you start to get into the 18+ crowd.
I think all depends on, like, if we want to revive the all ages scene, it really depends on location.
Yeah.
When you come around to it. Because, well, I'm from Calgary, and I didn't even move here until I was over 18 anyway. Okay. So Edmonton's a little bit irrelevant for me, but I witnessed it in Calgary, right? Calgary had the Multicultural Center in East Downtown. It was the best place you can go to. You can get, as long as you can get to the train, you can get to that. And then that was, like, the all ages scene pretty much. Like, every weekend you would just imagine yourself at the multi down there.
Yeah.
And then once that shut down, years and years it was tough finding all ages.
Yeah, but do you think one of the things that needs to happen is that I guess the higher ups in the city kind of need to get behind our music scene and like support it, kind of like what they're doing right now for like our film community, making initiatives to.
I think I'm not sure if it's just necessarily the music scene, but there definitely needs to be something done about like the cost of doing businesses in this city that aren't immediately profitable.
Yeah.
Because the arts community isn't something that generates a lot of revenue, but it's something that makes a city someplace you want to live. And there's not a lot of support for that sort of thing in this city outside of like the communities themselves. So there tends to be a suffocating influence as money flows into this province and drives the cost of everything up.
Yeah.
That sort of drives out the artists' communities in general and makes Edmonton less of a desirable place to live.
I don't support local music. Yes. Huzzah. Go to shows, kids. Don't sit at home and listen to your iPod.
Yeah.
It's local on your iPod.
and you gave money.
Yeah,
to
exactly.